please. This is my absolute favorite photo of Sid. I would describe this as a smoldering look. It's just a fantastic one. I don't know if Sid has that out so he could sign it, but he should. If he doesn't, we'll make sure that he gets that. Next one. Again, Sid in the early days with a couple of his early puppets. Next one. Okay, so Sid and Marty produced a feature film for television that had a wonderful cast of stars called Sideshow that was loosely based on Sid's start working for Ringling Brothers. And let's roll a clip and take a look.
Well, how do you like that? That's me.
Very good billing, kid? Come on, you got a show to do.
Not till this afternoon.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. You're giving a command performance. Now.
What?
Sideshow. Your colleagues just want to see what it is you do. Come on, kid. Everybody's trying to get in on the act. Cha-cha-cha.
And Marty got into the act. And rumor has it that this photo was used as the inspiration for Newsies, but I can't confirm that or not. So, what a wonderful photo. Next one. And before long, Marty got into the act and began helping his older brother. These are those puppets, we don't have to change the slide, but those were actually the puppets that were used on the Dean Martin show. So next one. And for the kids in the audience, we won't go into too much detail on Kid 3, but let's just say it was the first huge sensational live puppet show. Next. And here are some of the puppets from Les Poupées being painted. It's always a treasure to find a shot of behind the scenes of the Croft puppets and the Croft set pieces being made. So these photos, there are a lot of them that exist, but they are rare. And right around this era, yes, hey, let Sid and Marty know if you dig something because, you know, let them hear it. So the banana splits, yes. I mean, come on. So Hanna-Barbera approached Sid and Marty to design the characters, and actually, we've learned recently that they actually directed the shows as well. So let's have Marty tell you a little bit more about it.
Dean Martin came to see us at the New York World's Fair. He asked us if we were interested. Would you like to be on our TV show on NBC starting in the fall? So we did that, and then a lot of people saw us on that, especially Hanna-Barbera. Hanna-Barbera, who were the most successful in kids programming. So he said, we're doing the banana splits. We'd like you to help create them and build the costumes. So we went off and did it. But then I was reminded by Joe Barbera that they asked us to come in and be the co-director. So probably wound up doing most of it.
La 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 la. One banana, two banana, three banana, four bananas, over hill and highway, the banana buggies go. Coming on to bring you the banana split show.
And then of course what happened was, you know, the executive said to Sid and Marty, hey, you guys are nuts if you don't come in and pitch us one of your own shows from scratch. And of course that was HR Pufnstuf. here they are with a model that sadly does not exist any longer, but there they are with the great Jack Wild, and you can just see the magic happening, right? That's a great photo. Look at it. I wish I knew where that costume was, but Jack didn't have it, and who knows. So if anybody has it, please contact the Sid Marty Krofft Archives. No questions asked, by the way. So, next one.
Baby, I'm alive and living just for you.
Nice to meet you, son.
Puffin stuff will do.
Living just to love you, baby, just for you.
I'm Jimmy, and I'm Freddie.
Just for you.
Home for Sesame.
Sesame, the name's Lester.
Nobody likes a smart dog.
Living island, it's
It's the only way to fly. Come on, Seymour, make me beautiful.
you see is where it's at.
Oh, careful, Doc, it's too hot. Hello, the Onical Fred. Not with this magic potion I brew.
You got everybody, you got someone who cares by the name of Enjoy Puffin' Stuff. Where'd you go when things get rough? Enjoy Puffin' Stuff. Well, you can't do a little, but you can't do enough.
Yes. Okay, I found this photo in a little tiny white envelope in Deanna Croft's office. If you can't tell what it is, that is it's about a 2-inch by 3-inch photo from an Instamatic camera. That's them filming the beautiful boat on location for HR Puffin Stuff. There is virtually no behind-the-scenes photos on location, with the exception of like 2. So no one's seen this. So you guys are the absolute first. And yeah, and to back that one up, there they are on the stage at Paramount, and they're filming Dr. Belinky's house there. I don't think any of those are Sid or Marty. Just kidding. We obviously know they're not. Next one. And there's the original Freddie the Flute. To this day, he still exists. That's the talking one. And as you can see, he's still got a little sparkle in him, because there's at least one going off right there. So the thing that impressed me the most with Sid and Marty as being a film historian is that Puffin Stuff was TV series first, feature film second. There is very few things in entertainment history where it followed in that succession, because usually it's feature film and then television series. So we are going to get to see later today Puffin Stuff, 1970, Universal Pictures, in high def, and I can't think of any other place on earth it's ever been shown, so that's going to be another first. It looks incredible, and I can't wait to watch it with you guys. So this was an early press announcement for the feature film. And there's the one-sheet poster. We have a couple out in the front of the theater. And this is something that I don't think not a lot of people remember. Yeah, yes, Billy Hayes was on The Dating Game. We have not been able to locate the footage yet, but we do have several photos of the taping, and it's just, I don't know about you, but that's just a bucket list. Must see that before I check out on this planet here. So next one.
No, I don't have any. You have any?
So along came the Bugaloos. Now, I don't know if this is a surprise, but we're going to have Carolyn Ellis on from Spain to talk to everybody after my thing. So we were going to try to get her on first, but so she can go to bed. But you know, we haven't heard from her just yet. So hopefully she'll be up after my thing here. So let's have Marty tell us a little bit about this era of Croft history.
When we advertised that we were going to audition the Bugaloos, a lot of people came. We had Phil Collins there auditioning. He was glad we didn't pick him. Elton John's partner was there. He was so glad we didn't pick him. He said, "It would ruin my career." But every time Elton came to the Hollywood Bowl, he would call and give me 4 tickets. He did that for 20 years. That's how much he appreciated us turning him down.
I mean, you know, classic. That's a super great photo of the Bugaloos. I know you guys have probably all seen it, but we just had to put it up on the big screen because there's just television magic going on right there. I hear that the Bugaloo Buggy was last seen in France, and now I hear it's somewhere back in the States, so we're looking for that as well.
How's that for a topper?
Charles Nelson Riley, star of Lidsville. And Charles Nelson Riley, major talent.
Of course!
Not a happy camper with me. He asked me how long it would take to do the makeup. And I said, oh, about a half an hour.
No, that wouldn't work either.
Well, it took close to 3 hours. He didn't talk to me ever again. But that was okay. We had him, and he was great. So I was at the Chateau Marmont having lunch. I saw Charles Nelson Riley having lunch. So I went over to say hi. When I did that, he gave me a big hug. And I said in his ear, Charles, I'm Marty Croft.
Oh, what kind of trick are you trying to pull on me?
I think you mixed me up with Frank Langella. He still was bad.
Oh,
But
no.
he was worth it.
I just love happy endings.
Hey.
So this was a great one. Why did the Crofts bring the H.R. Pufnstuf Haunted Forest Trees out of storage? Here they are in storage at Disney. They show you the backside of water. At CroftCon, we show you the backside of the Haunted Forest Trees. So that's a very rare shot of the inside of the mechanism there. And another shot. And sadly, the trees have all decomposed, but we have the photographs. This is the reason why the Haunted Forest Trees got pulled out of storage.
This looks like the evil forest from the Pufnstuf show.
We haven't been through here before. Is this the way out?
It's a shortcut.
Lizard, please. Oh, goodbye, honey.
Well, it certainly ain't my cow. Well, the night's short anyway. Shall we be off, my dear?
You know it's...
Wait a minute, Mr. Voodoo. How are we going to get out of here without you?
Megan! Wichikins and I have got to make up for lost time. Whoa.
If you get in any trouble, just write us in care of the Odd Couple.
I said it was.
I'm scared. Me too.
There's nothing to be worried about. Should be a breeze finding our way out of here.
Yeah, so that's the Brady Bunch, Lidsville, and H.R. Pufnstuf crossover. I found that on the hard drive and couldn't believe what I was seeing, and then researched. There's a whole episode of the Saturday morning preview with that, so we're hoping to find it and put it out on home video first, and then of course streaming. So hard at work trying to find that one. So Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. We have Johnny Whitaker here today. Okay, next one. So there were two different openings for Sigmund, and Sid told me one day why they did that was because originally, you know, it opened with Friends, the same track, the same the title of Johnny Whitaker's pop LP, And this, yes, it's a great record. The second season, Sid felt that they needed to do differently, so it told the story in the same sort of theme as they did with Lidsville and Puff and stuff. So let's take a look at Sigmund and the Sea Monsters Season 2 here.
Let me tell you a tale, a very scary tale about two boys who were surfing one day on a very weird beach round Dead Man's Point where there are haunted sea caves, they say. And strange sea monsters have been sighted there. If you're traveling in the area, beware, beware, beware.
Sigmund, you're a rotten sea monster.
You're a disgrace to the family.
Go out and scare a human or you're through.
Meanwhile, back on the beach, Johnny and Scott are combing the rocks, unaware that behind them Sigmund lurks, preparing to give them a shock. Boom! In total surprise, the boys eye this rock, what can it be? And then it groans and moves and lo, it's a monster from the sea. Now Sigmund, the sea monster, and Johnny and Scott are friends. Finest friends that ever could be on the land or on the sea. Now Sigmund, the sea monster, and Johnny and Scott are friends. Finest of friends that ever could be on the land or on the sea.
Yes. Make sure you guys go say hi to Sharon Baird, who not only has a, yes, give it up for Sharon. If you guys are Walt Disney fans, make sure you ask Sharon a question or two because she knew Walt, and as did Sid and Marty. We'll let them tell you about that later, I'm sure. Does anybody know what we're looking at here? This is Sigmund turned inside out drying for the next day of filming. So this is a really rare photo. There he is. Yes, played by the great Billy Barty. And then Flopper Edmondson, of course, did the voice. Yeah, you got to talk about the Croft music, because for me, the music is such a huge part of the legacy. And does anybody have this album in their collection? Okay, so a few of you guys. What I always found very interesting about this record, though, that there was a lot of songs that were not on the album that were in the show. So let's take a look at a little montage of some of the songs that were not on the Friends record.
You better run, better hide. We gotta keep you outside. Be careful, Sigmund. Love it easy. The way that you tease me. I'll turn your rainy days to sunshine. Turn the bad times into laughter. Sing the rain. I've always been a lonely boy, going places all alone. Never thought I'd ever have somebody of my own. But somewhere in my mind was a picture of the girl I couldn't find till I met you. Afraid of striking out again, I guess. Sailing home is for the world to sing the simple melody.
Johnny Whitaker. So one of my favorite eras of Sigmund was when Marty had Jack Wilde come out to do the Hollywood Bowl show. And this is actually on set of Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. The gentleman in the middle is Cy Rose, who was a writer for many of the Croft shows. You always see his name in the end credits. I hear he was just a genius. So if you guys look him up, you can see he did a lot of contributions to Croft, as well as many of the classics, 60s sitcoms. Let's just go ahead and roll the next clip, because this will tell you about where we are now.
When I was going to do Puff and Stuff at the Hollywood Bowl. So we decided to do that one night concert, which we had 12,000 people at. And I booked the Brady Bunch kids. I had Jack Wilde, I had Johnny Whitaker and Sigmund, and we had a big night. at the Hollywood Bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jack Wild.
This great big show. It's nice being here with you to bring the characters you all know.
Well, when Jack came in to do the Hollywood Bowl, I figured may as well get him to do Sigmund also. So we had him to come in to do Sigmund, and then him and Johnny Whitaker became pals.
It's really great of you guys to invite me for the weekend. You sure it won't be any trouble?
Of course not. Yeah, Zelda will be thrilled to have you stay. Look who we met at the beach.
Hello.
Oh, I don't remember meeting you before. You look just like Jack Wild, that boy in the movies.
Maybe it's because that's who I am.
Really? Oh, I don't believe it. Jack Wild here in person?
I'm Jack Wild.
Hi, I'm Sigmund Ooze.
Ooze. Hi.
You know, Jack, nobody knows about Sigmund. And, well, if Zelda or anybody found out about him, we'd have to get rid of him.
Oh, mum's the word. I wouldn't say a word about it. Nobody believed me anyway. They'd think I'd gone crackers.
Crackers? Gosh, he talks funny.
I don't know, for my money, that's like the best pairing. Johnny Whitaker and Jack Wild on screen. That was amazing. So here's Sid and Marty both on the cave set of Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but the stage caught fire and burned to the ground, okay? Fortunately, there were no casualties except for, next slide, Marty Krofft's Rolls Royce.
Oh.
That was previously owned by Brian Epstein, who was the manager of the Beatles, and you believe me, if he had known that his Rolls got crushed, he would not be smiling, and neither would the Fab Four there. So, but the Rolls was fixed up, and it's out there. So next one. What's one of the secrets of the Krofft formula for making exciting entertainment? Let's have Marty tell us.
So you know, what we always did, we found and went after stars who had their own series, like Jim Neighbors.
What's the good news?
Yeah.
Starring Jim Neighbors and Ruth Buzzy.
Well, Ruth Buzzy was in Lost Saucer with Jim Neighbors.
That was close.
Fun, you saved my life. I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, it wasn't me. It was my stiff up oscillator. Brad, that's the first time you ever kissed me.
She came out of laughing, and so she was with a number of major people. But Ruth Buzzy, funny woman.
Now look, I am not that kind of girl android. Let's take off while we're still ahead. Hatch closed. Whew, here we go.
Now, when Land of the Lost came, Johnny Harrison was listening. Shaka.
Will? Holly.
Clear Abby. Hey. Chaka.
Wesley, you're and Kathy Coleman are here today. That's the big Alice Ham puppet, alive and well. Thought we'd show you some things in the archives of the few things that survived. Next one. This brings me to one of my favorite parts of Sid and Marty Krofft history. This is all about the theme park that they built. Just like Walt Disney's Disneyland, there was a Sid and Marty Krofft theme park. Here is a shot of the Omni Theater with the in construction banner, and this is a really rare television commercial for the theme park.
It's the first indoor high-rise world of fantasy and family fun. The world of Sid and Marty Krofft. Day or night. The year round. In downtown Atlanta, inside Omni International. Opening May 26th. Now all the fun is indoors. Reservations recommended.
Yes, come on. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of that, so, you know, the logo there. Here's a shot of the Living Island Adventure, one of the workmen, one of the Krofft artists painting that up there. This is a great shot. This is the Krofft Showbiz Factory, and you can see the pinball machine attraction vehicles that are all wrapped up, ready to go to Atlanta, and then on the right there, those are all the molds for the Crystal Carousel. I don't know what that is. That's not part of my presentation. So somebody's trying to communicate with us from somewhere. Oh, it looks like a technical difficulty of some sort. How many of you people knew about the Krofft theme park in Atlanta? If you go on Facebook, there's one of the photographers, the official photographers, have posted a bunch of the photos. So for the first time ever, you can see more images of the theme park than ever before. How are we doing up there? All right. We're doing all right. Well, let's see here. So the theme park had several attractions. It had an H.R. Pufnstuf attraction. It had the Crystal Carousel. It had, let's see, the pinball ride was one of the premier rides. And one of the slides I was going to show you after that was of the Rescue Racer. Actually, you guys are familiar with one of the most recent Krofft shows called Mutt and Stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we rebuilt the Rescue Racer for Mutt and Stuff. So that's why we have a Rescue Racer today. Okay, let's go to the next slide and see if we can catch up. Oh, there is the track being bent for the pinball machine ride. Really rare photo. Look at those old cars. Wow. Okay, next one. And then if you look closely inside of the pinball machine attraction vehicle, that's Captain Cool and the Kongs. They spent a lot of time at the theme park. And that's the entrance queue for the pinball machine ride. And I'm told that the robot still exists and was located just recently. So maybe at the next KrofftCon we can try to bring them out. Here's a really cool overview of the track layout for the Living Island Adventure ride. And just in classic Disney fashion, if you have the theme park attraction, you have to have the gift shop. And obviously that's Captain Cool and the Kongs there in front of that. And there's a great candid shot of Captain Cool and Super Chick, and that's during the opening credits for the Krofft Super Show. Okay. Now, many of you that were there first run for the Krofft shows may remember this, but for someone like myself, I didn't know this until I got a little bit older after watching Krofft shows in the 70s or in the 80s and then looking back. So here we are with Electra Woman and Dyna Girl wearing their prototype costumes, I might add, so it's a very rare shot. And we're just gonna show a little bit of Electra Woman and Dyna Girl here, just because we have a theater. shows are connected, and we're going to talk about why. So let's roll the opening titles for Wonderbug.
Sitting in a junkyard waiting to the ground of his pile of cars. Looking for an old car, found a funny sled car, let's make him ours. Found a magic horn, a new car was born. The toughest of the toughest supercars. Wonderbug, 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 Wonderbug. Faster than fast, smarter than smart, Wonderbug. When you hear the horn, help is on the way, so clap your hands. Hooray for Wonderbug, wonderful Wonderbug.
Wonderbug. There's one of the 2 Wonderbug miniatures alive and well. Next slide. Okay, roll Dr. Shrinker.
Dr. Shrinker, he's a madman with an evil mind. Dr. Shrinker, he's as crazy as you'll ever find. Crushed one the doctor's aisle. 3 kids are shrunken by laser ray. Will they always be so small? Will they be lucky and get away? Dr. Shrinker, he's a madman with an evil mind. Dr. Shrinker, he's as crazy as you'll ever find. Dr. Shrinker.
Yes. Okay, so what the interesting thing was how were all of these Croft classics originally broadcast, and they were all part of the Croft Super Show. So here's something that I found especially for you guys, because this has never been put on home video, this is not on YouTube, this is something that hasn't been seen since the 70s broadcast. This is the original way that the title was run and how they intercut Wonderbug, Dr. Shrinker, and Electro Woman and Dyna Girl.
Don't get left behind. Take a trip with us today. We will lead you to a land of dreams. Broadcast some super shows. They will blow your mind away. When you join us, you'll know why we say it's just a crazy world where anything goes down, where most of what appears isn't true. So in this crazy world, we like to be downtown and laugh at life along with you. Super Show, the Croft Super Show. Hey kids, Captain Cool here, and the Kongs are on their way. Terrific. Super Chick, Turkey, Nashville.
That we didn't get to see the best part, which is when they show the previews for the 3 shows. Should we run it again, or do we just move on? Let's move on. Run it again, try to run it one more time? All right, let's try it.
Don't get left behind. Take a trip with us today. We will lead you to a land of dreams. Broadcast some super shows. They will blow your mind away. When you join us, you'll know why we say it's just a crazy world where anything goes down, where most of what appears isn't true. So in this crazy world, we like to be downtown and cool here, and the Kongs are on their way. Terrific. Super Chick, Turkey, Nashville, and Flatbush. Now that we're all here, it's time for the Croft Super Show. Today, this must be the loot from the big Big Bank burglary. Susan, Cece, and Barry find some stolen cash, and Wonderbug helps them catch the thieves. On Dr. Shrinker, a federal agent is shipwrecked on the island. Then, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl confront the Empress of Evil.
You are finished.
On Lost Saucer, Phi and Fum encounter some really mad scientists. Stay tuned for all the excitement.
Now I have to clarify for Marty that I didn't plan that technical glitch just to have an excuse to show the Croft Super Show twice, because he often tells me, you love it too much. But I always say all the Croft fans love it too much, you know? So here's one of the most magical eras of Croft. This was the Croft Superstars, which I'm sure many of you saw. That was a syndicated package to put all the Croft shows to date together. And it was so fun watching this, because if you'd look in the TV guide, it would say Croft Superstars, but it would never tell you if you were gonna get Puff and Stuff or Sigmund. So you just had to tune in and just, see what Croft show you were gonna get. Now, there was a Croft Superstars special, and here is the titles for that. No one's seen this. This is not on YouTube. This is totally rare Croft video here.
Superstars preview.
Yes.
Yeah.
Superstars. Okay, next slide. So they conquered Saturday morning television, and then they went off to make entertainment history, recreating and redefining what became the standard for the variety show. So we'll have Marty tell us about it.
Look, we have two kids we want to put on television, and we wanted to give it to you, but we want you to come back and tell us how you would do it. So they told me to go to a state fair where they were appearing, and it was Donnie and Marie. I was thinking about what can we do with them. We don't want to do dancers in a variety show. So I thought, let's do 16 ice skaters as the opening, and then have them come out with ice skates.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donnie and Marie Austin.
Hey, Donnie! Donnie, where are you?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show.
Donnie, I wish you'd warn me when you're going to do something like that. Really?
Well, that's called making an unpredictable entrance.
Well, next time I predict you're going to run into something.
What could I run into, huh?
This.
Cute, Marie. Cute.
Yes.
Well, we were given a pilot. There was a 1-hour special. Of course, I put some great talent around it. Lee Majors, Farrah Fawcett, and on and on. So the pilot did well, we got picked up, and then all of a sudden there was a phenomenon for Donnie and Marie. And of course everybody loved them. They were like the boy and the girl next door, like Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney. So Donnie and Marie immediately fell in love with the audience, and they fell in love with them.
I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. I'm a little bit of Memphis and Nashville, with a little bit of Motown in my soul. So glad we got the real thing, baby. So glad we got the real thing.
These were good times for the Osmonds. So that show went on Friday night at 8 o'clock on ABC. It was really the first time it was a hit show in that time period.
Okay, that one was cut short. I think that must be the official technical difficulty glitch. So we'll move on in the interest of time. So the Brady Bunch Variety Hour came after Donnie and Marie show, and yes, now who's here is Chris Knight. Yes. So we're just going to go into that with him later with the Brady Bunch Hour. So we'll save that. So let's go to the next slide. This is a great clip. So let's let Marty tell us about it.
One guy was impossible to get, but I got him.
So what do you say?
I got Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor's place.
Got plenty of friends who live in the street. Craziest people you'll ever meet on Pryor's place. Well, Pryor's place.
Pryor's place.
And of course, Richard said to me, "Don't ever call my friends, because I'm not doing the show for you to do that." So I said, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." Of course, as soon as he left the room, I called all his friends.
Let's get over to Pryor's place. We're gonna have a good time today. Got plenty of friends who live in the street. Craziest people you'll ever meet on Pryor's place. Pryor's place.
Pryor's Place, awesomeness. Next slide, please. So here's a great current shot of Sid and Marty. I think they're inside Marty's office there, because I recognize a lot of the memorabilia. Oh, there's the DC Fondley's puppet of Sid Croft behind Sid. Classic. Okay, next one. And there they are with their Lifetime Achievement Emmy. It's a great day for the Crofts. There's Sid and Marty on the set of Mutt and Stuff, and that is the rescue racer that was built for Mutt and Stuff. So, again, and maybe next CroftCon we'll bring out the rescue racer. Oh, there's a photo that was taken a few weeks back. There's the cast of Land of the Lost. Joe Giamalva, who is Todd. Of course, there's Sharon, who is Saw. Next one. Oh, and Philip Paley is talking. Oh, come on. Do you guys remember the Chips episode where Puff and Stuff got a warning? He didn't get the ticket, he got a warning. There's Larry Wilcox and Eric Estrada with Marty and Freddie and Puff and Stuff. Next one. And this is something that I know they're so proud of. This was the big one. I'm gonna roll this next clip. Let's bring the volume down just a little bit on this next one, because it tends to be a little loud. This is a great piece, and what Sid says at the end chokes me up every time. So let's take a look.
Oftentimes, a star ceremony on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is tied with the release of a new movie, a new TV show, maybe a new album. But today's ceremony is more like a representation of my childhood, and maybe yours.
HR Pumpkin Stuff, who's your friend when things get rough? HR Pumpkin Stuff, can't do a little as you can't do enough.
HR Puffin Stuff has been part of the showbiz world for some 50 years. It's one of 26 series from the minds of Sid and Marty Krofft.
HR Puffin Stuff is out of all the shows that we did, it's my favorite show.
Sid and Marty are also behind Lidsville, about a kid who falls into a giant magic hat, somehow landing in a land of hat people. Another classic, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
I almost forgot I'm a secret.
Oh, boy.
And let's not forget the rafters who found themselves in the land of the lost.
For those of you standing here that didn't like some of our shows, keep your big mouths shut.
So ahead of their time and they did stuff that was off the wall and crazy and fun and taking chances, where so many people weren't.
Brady stars Maureen McCormick, Susan Olsen, and Christopher Knight spoke about their admiration for Sid and Marty. They worked together on the Brady Bunch Variety Hour.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
The brothers were also behind Donnie and Marie.
We had a ball doing that show.
Plus, Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell sisters, the Bugaloos, and...
We got 40 million fans. If I could get $1 from each one, we wouldn't be here today.
Where would you be, Marty?
South of France.
Sid remembers them both coming to Walk of Fame ceremonies when they were young men. On stage, he recalled sound advice Walt Disney gave them once upon a time.
He said, always put your name above everything that you create, because someday it's going to be worth something. So Walt, I hope you're looking down right now. Look what's going on here.
Marty told me Disney didn't tell them how to save their money, which is why they are still working. Sid's 90 and Marty's 82, and they are treasures.
They're so cute. That brought back a lot of memories.
Love that story. Thank you, George.
Yes. So for the most part, this brings us to current history. And the next slide. You guys are all a part of history because this is the very first one. So thank you for all being here and watching, and enjoy the rest of Comic-Con. Comic-Con, ProfCon. You did it though. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for Rob. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. So much history. And you guys are experiencing it right here.
He sold another gun.
Oh, okay.
Test 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a very special guest who called in a few times when we were through a little off schedule. So she called in a few times, that's what stopped it. So hopefully in a few minutes, we have Caroline Ellis from the Bugaloos. Not yet. Let's just keep it. Now, she's in Spain, so it's almost midnight there. So we hope that everything goes through in a few minutes. So did you guys enjoy that presentation? Oh, there she is! Caroline Ellis from the Bugaloos!
Did you invite Caroline or something?
I can't see you, but that doesn't matter. So you're all having a good time?
Yeah!
It says poor connection. Hello? Are you there?
We can see you. We can see you and we can hear you.
Ah, good. I'm just seeing it. It says poor connection, so hopefully we don't lose each other.
Well, we're going to try our best here. So thank you so much for being here at the first ever CrofCon.
Fantastic. Wasn't great recognition for Sid and Marty. It's fantastic. The first ever CrofCon. And thank you for inviting me to be on the first one ever. Hopefully there'll be lots more.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your audition process for the Bugaloos.
Oh, have you got 6 months? Well, it was a very highly publicized announcement
in the newspapers that Hollywood producers were coming to London to look for 4 youngsters to be able to sing for a TV series, etc. And this went on for every day, and I saw it in the newspaper, and a friend saw it, and she said, oh, come on, let's go along and have a go. And I said, no, it's just a publicity stunt. They already have everybody who they want lined up. There's no point. It's just going to be, a waste of time. Anyway, to cut a long story short, she dragged me along, and it was being held at an EMI in London. So when we got there were just millions of youngsters outside queuing. I said, oh my goodness, forget it, let's go home. This is a waste of time. Because normally when you go for an audition or an interview, you have an appointment, you may have to wait a bit and there's others waiting. But this was just, anybody could go along and audition. Anyway, she made me wait, I'm happy to say. She made me wait, and eventually we got in, and they were seeing 12 people at a time. So we had to go in, 12 people at a time, sit in a semicircle, and one by one we were asked our names, and then they said, okay, one by one, we just want you to each of you sing a little bit, not for too long, but just sing. So we each got out one by one and sang a little bit of a song. I sang Yesterday of the Beatles, and then once everybody had finished, which was done pretty quickly, then they said, okay, we'll come outside and we'll let you know who can wait and who can go home. So that's what happened. We went back outside, and obviously they said a few names to wait, one of them being mine, and so it went on like that. But they saw over 4,000 youngsters over a period of several days a week. So you can imagine, it must have been hard work for them, but it was certainly hard work for us. So anyway, yes, I was called back. I had to go back the next day, and again the day after, and each time we had to do something, maybe a bit more singing or questions asked and everything. And little by little, they filtered it down to just a few of us. Now, another girl that had to go back was a girl at the same agency, at the same school as me, Janie, and we were both actually working up the road in I think it was the Dorchester Hotel, and this was taking place not far. Anyway, so I actually found the photograph today of me in the fashion show. Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
we can hear you.
Okay. I found a photograph today in the fashion show where they mention, I've lost half of it, but it actually mentions that we were auditioning to go for a part in a TV show. I've got messages coming in in a TV show in Hollywood. So anyway, we got it down. It was just down to me and Janie in the end, and a few of the boys, obviously including the 2 Johns and Wayne. And then they invited us out for a meal in the evening. I think it was actually to see that we could behave ourselves and we knew how to hold a knife and fork. But I think they will never admit it, but I think that's what it was. But anyway, we obviously all behaved, and we were told one by one. I was actually told by Marty.
Marty is right here. Marty is right here, and he has a question
Hi,
for you.
Marty. Hi, Marty.
You look exactly the same.
What did he say?
You look the same. And you live in a great...
I look the same.
You live in Mallorca.
That's good. Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind. I brought actually a little friend along. I don't know if you remember him.
Let me tell you, Carol,
So, that's fine. I've still got him.
first of all, I have to remember.
I've got...
But when we auditioned you, I told you first that you had it. Because you were special.
You did?
Oh, you're a special person. You caused me the least problem.
Until now.
What we did was, if you
Thank you,
remember,
Marty.
we put you up in Beverly Hills and we rented a house for you all. They destroyed the house.
Yeah, well, first of all, it was in North Hollywood, wasn't it? You rented the house in North Hollywood, first of all. And then we moved to Beverly Hills. No, you looked after us fantastically. Absolutely fantastically.
You guys were all
It was really, really wonderful.
I just want to tell our fans a real short story. You know, last year I had a call and they said they wanted to use the song that Caroline sang all those years ago that I thought was a hit then. And it was called Senses of the World. They had Universal had an act, what were they called? The brothers, what were they called? Caroline, do you remember?
The Chemical Brothers.
The Chemical Brothers been around. And what they did, they used a thing, they called it a sample. So I immediately asked somebody in my office, what is the sample? Like a clothing sample? But no, it's a sample where they screw around with the song and they call it something else. Now, the real bad part of the story is that I'm still fighting with Universal to pay Caroline. They have yet to give her a penny on it, or have they paid you yet? Nothing. But you know what?
Yeah, not even a credit.
If we win, you're gonna score, don't worry. I'm still on top of it.
Well, the first I heard it was fans telling me, Caroline, on the opening of the Apple event in April last year, you're singing your song. And I said, what do you mean? Are you talking about?
And the record went
into the internet, and I had a look.
The record went to #1. But I'll tell you one thing I gotta remember. We put the Bugaloos on tour. But the problem was then, there was no really touring situation at that point in kids shows. But we did go to #1 in St. Louis. And that was the end. Caroline, don't give it up. You're a home run. You're a fabulous person. And you were lucky to have.
Okay, and we have one other one here. Butch Patrick wants to say something, and then we will wrap this up, so thank you. Here's Butch Patrick. Lidsville.
Hello, Caroline. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Butch, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to add one little kind of
I saw your message today, so saying thank you very much. And I think it's just such a wonderful tribute to Sid and Marty. Obviously, we've all worked with them. You probably know them better than I do. And so they really know how to look after the people they have for their their productions. They really do. That's for sure. I mean, talk about sport, in wonderful houses looked after, everything was laid on for us.
I wanted to share one thing. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me, Caroline?
Yes, the line's a bit fuzzy, but I can hear you, yes.
I wanted to share with the people, one of the reasons, in fact, after going on several interviews, I decided to do Lidsville because I saw a picture of the Bugaloos, and I said, is there a chance that I might meet her? Marty goes, yes. So I said, I'm hiring on for Lidsville.
But you never did.
Thank you, love. Take care.
Okay, and you. Thank you. You take care as well, Butch.
All right, thank you, Caroline. Is Sid in the audience?
Over there.
Sid?
Is Sid there?
Where's Sid?
Hi, Sid.
He left. He went
I can't see anything here with these lights. Oh,
Hi, Sid.
Oh, he just back? Okay. No, she can't see. So, Caroline, I agree with Marty. You look absolutely fabulous. Let's see. We're trying to find. Sid is on his way. So that'll be the last question, and we thank you because we have the mayor waiting. We have the mayor waiting for us.
I found this today.
Wow! Look at that.
Do you remember this, Sid?
I'm right here.
Caroline.
It's Sid Cross.
Oh, hi.
Oh my God! Thank you so much, Caroline. You've
No,
got.
thank you. It's great that we're all here reunited. I just wish I was there to see all the cast of all the other shows as well. I mean, the pair of you, what a wonderful, wonderful life you've had. Your imagination, all the shows that you've invented, you put together, I mean, it's just unbelievable what you do in all these years. Incredible.
Thank you.
Congratulations to
Great
both of you.
compliment. Thank you so much. You know, you've got to be on my Sunday show. And I know you're in Spain right now.
Yes, please.
We'll work it out.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a lot of witnesses here.
Okay.
Thank you, Caroline. And Caroline, you have a little announcement to make of something that we have at the concession stand. We have some of your autographs are there. You signed 25 autographs that will be sold at the concession stand that you sent over here from Spain, so we appreciate that. So anybody who's looking for her autograph, she got them printed up, signed them, and they're in the concession stand after this because they're locked in the office right now. So there's only 25, I believe, and so first come, first serve. So
Caroline, I want to know.
24, I think.
how many?
This is Sid
Yeah.
again. Hey, Caroline, listen to this. You look incredible. Do you sleep in the refrigerator? We haven't seen each other all these years.
I think she just went back into the refrigerator, Sid.
I lost you for a minute. Are you still there?
Yes, we are. We're all waiting.
Okay. Thank you, Caroline. I think we've lost your video, but thank you so much. And remember, there's some autographs at the concession stand. First come, first serve. Round of applause for Caroline Ellis and the Boogaloo!
I'm back again. I can hear you now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care
Yes, she
of
is.
you and have fun.
Thank you very much. Boy, doesn't she look wonderful? Oh my gosh. You look great, Caroline.
Teenagers. Thank you very much. Have you enjoyed the rest of the evening?
Very much, thank you.
It's hard to believe it, but kids.
See, one problem when you're in an old building.
It's pretty time go at the moment. Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, so that's what happens when you're in an old building. It's the internet's it's all concrete here, but hey, it worked out great. We got to see Caroline in here, so that's wonderful. So, all right. So next on to our program, we have some very special announcements to make, and the first one I want to introduce to you, the Mayor of Orinda, California. Here he comes. Come on down. Let's give it up for the mayor because one, this building wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the mayor, okay? He's a big advocate for the theater to make sure things are working, and we're very appreciative of all that the mayor does. So, welcome.
Hello, welcome to Orinda. Everybody having a good time? A little more enthusiasm. airs today, that is to say May 21st, 2022, Sid and Marty Krofft Day in Orinda.
Today is Sid and Marty
I have
Krofft
a bunch of whereas's, and I'm not going to read them and bore you with them. They already know what they've done throughout their life. There is one thing, though. We forgot one of the F's in your last name in it. So it's flawed, so it's like a double-struck penny. It may be more valuable.
Oh.
All righty. We're going to present it to you.
We're going to present it?
I have two of them.
Yes, and you're going to read it?
I'm not going to read
No?
it. The whereases are, you also the presentation, so you know what.
Yes, isn't
Yes,
there?
you are.
Sid, you'll come up first. We can get Marty up here. And Marty Krofft.
I remember your stuff, so. All right. Well, I hope everybody's having a great time, and it's wonderful that Derek has brought this here. It's wonderful to meet the two of you, and this looks great in all ways to me. So, and I hope you'll do it again. And next time, we'll get your last name spelled right.
We didn't realize how famous this city is, and we're happy to be here. And let me tell you, whoever comes from this area, you're lucky to have Derek, who loves this theater and has kept us alive for a long time. We're really happy to do this here first, and you're going to see us again. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you, Marty. And Sid would like to say a few words.
Do you know, let me tell you where the Krofft name came from. This is something maybe you have never heard before. Yeah. And neither has Marty. My first agent in New York, in the Brill Building on Broadway, that I auditioned for in his little tiny office with my Victrola. And he said, well, it was pretty good, and I will handle you, but I cannot sell a puppet act. The word puppet is for kids. So you gotta come up with something else than a puppet act. And that's where the unusual artistry of Sid Krofft was born. But our name is not Krofft. It's the agent that took our real name and found K-R-O-F-T in it. And I said, well, that's pretty good, but it's not big enough. So I added another F. F for what? And then, you know, Marty was just 8 years old when that happened. This is 1945. And we have our brother Harry, who's still with us. He's 2 years older than me. And he took Krofft, didn't even ask me because I was in Europe playing the Lido in Paris and touring all over Europe. And his whole family changed the name Krofft. And then Marty, I don't know when he took it, did not ask me. Krofft.
I also
So that's where
I never heard this story. This is pretty frightening. The moon. The moon. You never told me.
This is Sid Marty Croft battle going on right now. People are witnessing, what happens in our office. 65 years we've been working together. And guess what? You cannot divorce your brother. So if there's anybody out there that
We
knows...
both know this.
Anybody out there that knows a good lawyer, I'd like to talk to him. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I told you earlier, it really means a lot to me. And thank you.
And like one last word? No? Let's give a round of applause for the mayor. Remember, May 21st, Sid and Marty Croft Day, right here in